Cybersecurity. How to stay safe. Nowadays, we can communicate and socialize with other people easier than ever. We can send and receive messages in just a few seconds. We can get in touch with people virtually in real time. We can fly to meet our loved ones. We can make new friends in unconventional ways. We can transmit information and stand up for our beliefs. And the list goes on and on. However, the more we widen our horizons in this modern society, the more vulnerable we become. Our personal information can fall prey to anybody. Unfortunately, it is not difficult to trace our preferences, our cultural background, our economic situation, our religion, our beliefs, and even our health condition. Today, some countries have enacted new laws about the privacy of our personal data. However, we are not the only ones who are exposed. Companies are affected too. Very often, businesses run the risk of being attacked. Especially during the last years, big corporations run more and more risks of losing their data. User accounts, clients' credit card information, trade secrets, marketing plans, patents, and proprietary technology are only some of the common data breaches a company may experience. But why do cyber thieves try to steal this kind of information? The answer is simple. All this data is worth great amounts of money. However, why do not hackers try to produce similar content by themselves? The answer is simple again. It's difficult to create it, it's costly and requires a lot of hard work, and for this reason, it's often easier to steal it. In fact, the more precious your data is, the more likely it is to be stolen. In a society where making money fast is of primary importance, there is no question why big companies are the most common target of cyber attacks. However, hackers' motives may differ. For example, a hacker can be a person who considers themselves an activist, or an individual with deeper purposes, political, religious, diplomatic, etc. Many cases of severe data breaches have surfaced throughout the previous years. Some of these data breach cases could easily win an Academy Award if they were adapted into movies. Companies, of course, are not ignorant of this threat, and they are developing and implementing ways to defend themselves. However, this is not as easy as it sounds. The more attackers try to steal confidential information, the more companies try to find alternative ways of defense. And the more companies resist, the more inventive the hackers become. And this story continues in a similar way. The companies seem helpless. However, there are some fundamental things each company and its employees should follow to keep data safe. Number 1. The company's data policy. Each company has formally written its rules. They are similar to the laws of a small society. However, these rules are not for citizens, but rather company employees. Employees should be informed and well educated about these rules from the very first moment they are hired and start working in a company. These rules determine how employees should handle the company's confidential data. For example, in a hospital, staff should keep patients' information safe. Also, think about a popular restaurant, where cooks should not reveal their special recipes. Employees should know how to store information, how to protect it, and sometimes how to destroy it instead of simply being put in the garbage. It's more than essential for the sustainability of these companies to keep their data confidential. Number 2. Blockers. The Internet provides you with countless possibilities. It is like a place full of candy for kids. However, amazed as you may be, it's not always easy to distinguish which candy you should try and which you should avoid. Some of them may cause you a stomachache or something worse. This is why you should install a blocker. A blocker is an administrative tool able to distinguish which software, material, or website can be malicious for your computer and informs you when you want to access a suspicious resource. It's not easy to prevent a virus from being installed on your system. A blocker can really help you with this. Nowadays, there is a variety of such programs, that can successfully detect a malicious item, and companies tend to spend a lot of money to obtain one of these programs. However, the best security technology in the world cannot prevent a company from losing its valuable resources. The employees are always the first line of defense, and this is why corporate training is of utmost importance. Number 3. Training. Companies should offer continuous training to their employees. Employees should be trained to be suspicious of any possible threats. Employees will respond differently to a malicious item when they are aware of its existence and the possible threats that it may cause. If employees notice something strange on their computers, they should immediately inform the responsible department. There are many things that employees should have in mind. For example, they should log out of their computers when they do not use them. Similarly, they should protect company devices and enable their phone or tablet tracking features so that the company can quickly locate its devices in case they are lost. Of course, employees should not use their professional email for unauthorized or personal reasons, and they should not visit inappropriate websites. Each training, of course, should be tailored to each company's needs. Number 4. Proper labeling. Each company should define what elements constitute confidential information. All documents, whether they are in electronic or physical format, should be labeled in order to make it easier for employees to store and handle them properly. Labels like confidential, public, or internal use only are some examples of the type of labels that define who can access them. Number 5. Limit access. All companies should rely on their employees. However, when it comes to confidential documents, the best practice is to limit the amount of people that can access them. Companies are responsible for granting access to sensitive information only to those who really need it. In this way, it's easier for the company to control and secure any vulnerable data. Number 6. Cryptography. One other technique that employees can use in order to keep companies' data safe is cryptography. Cryptography is a practice that allows two or more partners to communicate and share material in a way that is not known to unauthorized individuals. Encrypted messages are like super armored chests that prevent third parties from accessing one's confidential information. Number 7. Weak passwords. Nowadays, more and more of our transactions are executed electronically. These procedures require user accounts and a password. However, the more accounts we have, the more we gather passwords. Of course, it's difficult to always remember all these passwords, especially when we rarely use them. However, let's admit it, 1234 is not a safe password. Some people try to create passwords tailored to them. Unfortunately, our birth date is not a safe password either. A strong password is your first line of defense against hackers. An ideal password is the one that is at least 6 characters long, includes a combination of letters, symbols and numbers, and does not contain personal information or any words. A good password should be changed on a regular basis, as often as we change our toothbrush, should not be shared with others, and should not be noted on any paper. Number 8. Backups. Imagine that you have worked really hard on a project and you have spent many hours in front of the computer, only to figure out later that your work was lost. If you have saved your material in multiple places, then you can feel relieved. Otherwise, you will be disheartened to know that all your effort has been lost. It's of vital importance to back up every change that you make up in real time. But this is not enough. You should also check, in the same time, that your backups are operating efficiently. This will save yourself from severe headaches later on. And if this sounds almost impossible to happen, then there are many examples of big companies that will make you sweat when you hear their stories. When working on Toy Story, Pixar, for example, lost the content of one whole year when someone accidentally ran a server command that rapidly started deleting animation files. The sad reality is that when the team turned to the backups to restore this material, they figured out that the backups failed to restore the damage. Thankfully, one member of the team was working from home during that period, taking care of her newborn child, and kept backups of the missing material on her private computer, which saved the careers of many people. Number 9. Stay updated. Do you update your apps and programs? If not, then maybe you should. Updating a program not only means that you have the chance to enjoy the new features that it offers you, but an updated program is also aware of new types of viruses. Therefore, it can more effectively encounter a possible threat compared to your former program. Number 10. Unauthorized software. Let's admit it, it's really catchy to download free software that seems tailor-made to your needs, instead of buying it from an authorized seller. However, you should know that no one would give you free software just because they are so generous. Usually, when you download free software, you install contrary to your intention, malware programs that can cause serious damage to your computer. Downloading unauthorized software on your personal computer may be fine, but in the office this is a practice that is not permitted. The next time you need new software, just discuss it with the company's responsible department. Number 11. Network connections. It's nice and convenient to have access to the internet whenever and wherever you are. Usually, when you are at a coffee house, a mall, or at the airport, you can connect to free Wi-Fi networks that usually do not even need a special login. However, you should try to avoid these networks, as you cannot be sure that no one can access the information you send and receive. Open networks that do not require authentication to connect to are open to everyone, so besides you, anyone else can use them. You can't be sure what motives other people have. So, next time you would like to connect to an unsecure network, think twice. Number 12. Security technology. Today, network threats, like spam and viruses, can be handled by programs that have been specifically developed to combat malware software. These antivirus programs are also referred to as real-time scanners, as they isolate viruses before they are installed in an operating system and proceed to perform modifications. All you have to do is to regularly scan your computer, as well as USBs, before you use them. Number 13. Cyber threats are always changing. Cyber hackers are getting smarter and smarter, and they find new ways to infiltrate your online world. This is why you should always stay updated and use state-of-the-art technology to protect your data. For example, biometric identification, like fingerprinting, voice or facial recognition, are ways that your identity can be verified through uniquely detectable biological traits. Companies should embrace these kind of practices to ensure that their content is accessible only to specific people. Number 14. Physical security of notebooks. Notebooks, confidential documents, diskettes, and important copies should be stored after use in a safely locked place. This is really important. Imagine you leave your house a few hours or even a few days. Would you feel safe if you knew that you haven't locked the door? Number 15. Create a culture of security. The sad reality is that companies generally are not well prepared for a possible attack. Hackers are always trying to figure out new ways to steal valuable information. However, this should not discourage us. The best practice we should all follow is to grow a culture of security. We should always stay informed and committed to the companies we are working for. This may sound like something that doesn't directly affect us. However, if companies ensure their sustainability, then we can feel more confident that there will be a place for us to continue working. We should feel as responsible for the security of our companies as we do to stay secure in our homes.